you show up. And now 3 of us are gone.
Why'd you bring us here? Every moment now, you don't have a choice. The only thing you can choose is what you're risking it for. I think these people feel better and hang on a little bit longer. I can save lives. That's reason enough to risk mine.
They started coming. In the congregation.
Hey everybody, they call me the governor. Welcome to this panel where I have some wonderful folks to talk about Fear the Walking Dead. This last episode, In Dreams, the worst Mother's Day episode of any show ever. We are going to be talking about it. Before we get into that, I do want to thank Wizard World for hosting us. And you definitely want to go to wizardworld.com to check out their upcoming panels. They have the nostalgia track, the horror track, the sci-fi track. And they also have lots of live experiences that you can have one-on-one with celebrities. And you can go to wizardworldvault.com for some great merchandise. But you people are here to talk about fear. So that's what we're going to do. Let's have everyone introduce themselves. Let's start with Mashawn. Tell us about you.
Hi, I'm Mashawn. I am a member of the Walking Dead community. I post reactions on patreon.com/MashawnReacts, as well as on YouTube, of course. They don't usually stick on YouTube because of copyright, but that's what Patreon's for.
Absolutely. Jaz?
Hi, I'm Jaz. I am not an official Walking Dead reactor as Mashawn and Sarah are, but I am the social media person here at Wizard World, and I love The Walking Dead.
All right, awesome. Mama?
I am Sarah, or Mama, either is fine. And I am on every social media at Mama Deadhead, and I react to a range of shows now.
Including Fear. And we have a special guest that is joining us, the godfather of storyboarding, Mark Simon, who has worked on all 3 of the Walking Dead shows. So Mark, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, you gave away my best stuff. I mean, come on. Yeah. Yeah, I've been, so I started, actually, this was my first episode of Fear. I've been doing the last two seasons of World Beyond, and I did seasons 9 and 10 of the original show. So I've got a lot of dead in my system. And and there's nothing better than drawing zombies and murderous killing machines. I love it.
All right. I'm not sure what a zombie is. Never heard of that, but that's just me.
I've got every show. I always forget what each show calls it. We've got walkers, of course, whispers, depending on the season.
Empties. World Beyond.
Governor's got the biters.
Biters. Yeah. We got sickos. We got.
I can tell you that even those of us on the shows, we call them all zombies. Even though the shows actually don't, we do. It's just easier that way.
You heard it here first, you guys.
Zombies were here first. And quick intro for me. I'm, of course, am the Gov. And apparently, according to Jaz, I am not an official reactor because she left me out of her list.
You are. See, everybody leaves you out. See?
Yeah, I am feeling really hurt. But yes, I do the Governor Reacts on Phantom Spotlight. And I also run this wonderful panel with these wonderful people. And we talk about The Biting Dead is what the show should be called, according to me, but they call it The Walking Dead, whatever. And we are going to discuss this episode. But before we go too far, I want to wish Mama Deadhead a belated birthday.
And you as well.
Happy
you also
belated.
had a birthday.
Yeah, for the two of you.
You turned what, 25?
26.
26. What a baby. I had a birthday on Sunday, on Mother's Day. But even more so, beating us all out, we have Mark. Today is his birthday. So happy birthday, Mark. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
And Ms. Kayla says, hi, Kyle, Jaz, Mama Deadhead. And Marshawn doesn't say hi to you, Mark, but she didn't know you were here. I think this was before.
I won't take it.
We'll forgive her. And Deborah says hi. So I'm glad to see we have a couple of our regular people here. Well, let's talk about what dreams make. I mean, in dreams, this episode of Fear the Walking Dead was a glimpse of the future, but not really a glimpse of the future. It was, I read it confused the hell out of Mr. Williams. And all right, who wants to start out with impressions of this episode?
I can.
Well, Michonne beat you. No, you go.
No,
All
you
right.
go.
No, she's giving you a birthday present. Sarah, just
You
go.
know what? I'll go. No, I'm kidding.
This one probably hit harder for me than any other episode ever. And that may sound like a shock, but it was Mother's Day. How dare you? I'm a mother. I have PTSD from like birth trauma, and also I've suffered miscarriages. But on top of that, I have a 5-year-old daughter named Athena. I'm offended. Oh. That is my daughter's name. So I was just an absolute wreck the whole time. I know I read a lot of people, saying like, oh, like this wasn't the best, or like this didn't hit as hard as 701. Some people said it did, and some people like, no. I'm just sitting over here bawling. Absolutely destroyed. I think it was the name that did it for me. They just had to put Athena in there. So yeah, really hard episode for me. Really difficult episode.
Yeah, well, you could definitely personally connect to it, and yeah, it's totally understandable. For me, I have cats. That's all I have. I had a daughter named Penny. Michonne took out my daughter. I understand. Sure, I guess maybe she couldn't have been cured, but still. So, but at least the stillborn part didn't really affect me, and Grace, I'm not really attached. But all right, Michonne.
So while Sarah was personally attacked, I was confused for maybe about the first third. And I just stopped being so stressed out about Grace, because I was like, okay, so if they're going to kill her, there is absolutely no way that they're going to lead us through it and tell us beforehand. That's not Walking Dead. Where's the shot? I'm like, it ain't no way they finna kill her. Ain't no way they finna kill her. Also, it was nice to have more brown people in this episode. Love that.
I think it was a lot like Tyrese's episode, and they did kill him in it. It was a lot of like imagery, like similar imagery.
He was big though, so like you knew he was about
Jazz, your thoughts on this?
So I'm one of those people that didn't really love it. I went into it knowing that it was going to be a Mother's Day episode and expecting it to be brutal. Like, for whatever reason, I was expecting like Lori type of her last episode type of stuff, and it was just this weird dream for like the first 2/3 of it. And I mean, I will say that the outcome did surprise me because I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting her to die, not Athena. And that part was just really heartbreaking for me because I guess of the shock value.
Mark, now I know this has been a while since you storyboarded it. Do you have any thoughts on when you read through this episode and you laid it out?
Well, it was interesting because generally when I get called on to one of the episodes, there's not enough time to storyboard the entire thing. So I come in to do the big kill scenes or big stunts or big effect scenes. And there really weren't any really big effects or stunt scenes in this one. I did the sequence that was in the barn. And it's not that had to be storyboarded. Here's a little insight for you. The Michael Satrazemis is one of the executive producers and the director of this episode. And I worked with him on the original Walking Dead, and he wanted to get me onto this show, but they had another story artist at the time. So as soon as there was an opening, he brought me in and literally put me on that sequence just to get me in. He didn't need it. He didn't even use it. I guess he used it, but he didn't need it. It literally was just to get me into showcase production, what I could do. But it was fun because I added some really nice camera moves on some of the things. But I was confused when I first read the script because obviously the shows prior had not aired yet, and I hadn't read any earlier scripts. So I was like, what the heck's going on, until it all kind of came together and I realized, oh, we're doing that time jump back and forth. So, the fact that some of you were confused, obviously that was on purpose, so that you get that reveal at the end, which I actually thought was pretty well done.
I will say that my thoughts on the episode, it was a well done episode overall. I had some issues though with the whole, first of all, they called the episode In Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So when she shows up in the future, it's a dream. She didn't slip and fall into a hot tub time machine. She didn't accidentally find a DeLorean with a working flux capacitor. Nothing like that. It was a dream. And, the impact at the end, I felt bad, but we have not seen a lot of Grace since, we saw her the past couple episodes, but like the first half of season 6, we didn't see her until like the end of. No, I don't think we saw her.
We only saw her at the end of 7, right?
Yeah, at the end of episode 7,
Yeah.
when she was locked in that room. So we didn't see her at all. So I'm not really attached that much to Grace. I'm not saying she's a wonderful actress, and it's a good character, but I have no engagement. So I felt bad. I felt like it was a shame, but I was not as emotionally torn up as someone who has personally, gone through similar things. And I can understand that. But I also, everything that I've learned about babies and how they develop and how their language centers work, if there was some psychic bond between them, it wouldn't play out like that. I mean, Athena, as a fetus, could not communicate that clearly to her mother. She lacks the mental ability. So it was basically, this is Grace's projection of what she thinks her daughter is. And maybe she could sense her daughter was in trouble. Maybe she could, there was some of that, but the majority of it, it wasn't actually Athena communicating this whole time. It was what Grace pictured. So it was fully a dream. And then she had Morgan give up the fucking key based on a dream.
First of all, I will interject. Morgan got on my last fucking nerves. I'm going to murder everyone except the leader. Let him leave,
Exactly.
and then come back. Make it make sense.
Yeah,
That's
definitely
Morgan
agree.
for you.
Yeah. Did they tell you, Mark, when you storyboarded out the barn scene that that Riley, the leader of the bad guys, was going to survive it? I mean, why? He had no trouble killing anybody else.
No, actually, I didn't know that. Of course, we don't get the scripts, and I actually don't. We have 10 days of prep on these shows, on each of these episodes, and I don't get the scripts till day 4 or 5 in prep. So there is no advanced reading whatsoever on these things. So I'm completely lost as far as what else is going to happen.
Okay. So, yeah, I have to agree. Does everyone agree that Morgan should have just shoved that stick through Riley's eye and ended the whole thing?
Yeah.
Surprised that Riley didn't die from like where he stabbed him at. That seemed like it would be one where you die, but
Well, he stabbed
he should have
him,
killed him.
Basically close to the shoulder. It was in the chest, but it wasn't
On the side
it wasn't through the heart. It wasn't,
Okay.
And I don't know how deep it went in, and I don't know why he stopped. It's like, why,
Give everybody else the one hit quitter through their mouth, out the back of their head, all just stab him in the shoulder and let him regroup and come back. I was so mad.
That one shot was so cool though.
Almost all life is precious. Yes, it is. It made me scream. I was like,
That was so cool.
Back to that.
can we talk about the walkers? When they turned into walkers, we know the walkers never disappoint in the walker universe at all.
Oh, they were, though, again, a logic thing. I mean, here we have Grace in a coma or knocked unconscious by this exploding car. So in her dream, how does she know what Riley and his crew look like?
I couldn't tell you.
I mean,
Studio magic.
yeah, I mean, the effects on the walkers, the biters, whatever you want to call them, as usual, were great. I mean, they looked really cool.
Well,
But-
we didn't get to see a lot of what exactly happened beforehand, so we don't know if she got a look at them or not. They could have had like a whole altercation, get chased down in the car for the car to explode. But yeah, we didn't get a lot of like beforehand. We just got aftermath of car explosion.
Yeah, and the slight reenactment. So I imagine she could have seen them beforehand.
Yeah.
It's possible. But if not, then it's like, is she psychically connected to Morgan now and seeing through his eyes? And it was weird.
Why
I
couldn't
have
you?
to like go back and watch all of the episodes with her now, just to see if I can find a hint of them meeting in some sort of fashion.
Well, I mean, she was locked away in the town. Maybe she could have seen them before.
I doubt it. I don't think she saw much of anybody. What's
Please.
that?
Why couldn't June just come to us? Why did the pregnant lady have to try to travel?
Oh,
Right?
I had so many questions about that when they were like, "Oh, we're 6 days out." I'm like, "Wait, days or like hours?" I was like, "Why is the hospital that far away from the community that you want to help? Like, where? Why? Where? What? Huh?"
Nothing about trying to get some help made sense.
Wasn't she just there too? Like, she was just in the community with Daniel.
Yes!
Where did she go? Why?
That fast? She just killed Virginia 5 minutes ago.
There was a slight time jump.
Like, let me travel with a pregnant lady by myself a long distance. It just makes total sense. I didn't get it.
Especially someone that far along too.
Exactly. Like she was
And-
literally like, girl.
And the previous episode, Morgan was told that they know his name and they're looking for him. So you would think he would not want to necessarily travel outside his stronghold,
Exactly.
But
There-
Morgan
there's-
always thinks of others first. I mean, that's Morgan.
Yeah, but he doesn't think about, who he sometimes he doesn't kill people he needs to kill. And
All
Riley
life
was
is
one of them.
precious.
He's literally in labor and he's going to literally get y'all killed. I'm so like, Morgan, what are we doing? Where's the sense of urgency to murder people? Just real quick, you killed everybody else. One more wouldn't have hurt you. Just one more. Just one more. It wasn't uncalled for. It was very much deserved. And now he got the key and we don't even know what the key go to.
Goes to the sub. goes to that nuclear sub, and there's no doubt going to be some confrontation. I'm not going to look to Mark for any for any confirmation, but my take is that they got that, and they're going to go to the sub, and they're planning on nuking around there, so they're going to have to like fight them off and stop the countdown.
See, that whole key thing had me so confused again, because I came in the middle and I had no reference prior, and I kept asking production, what is this key? And what, I wasn't getting any answers. So even while I was working on it, I had no clue what the hell that key was. And it was driving me crazy because everything else I could understand except the fucking key. So I had no idea.
Let me go to the real quick to the comments because it's blowing up a little bit. I'm a little behind. Deborah Ulmer says, happy birthday, Mark. So
thank you, Deborah.
Sonia says they did a fantastic job blending the dream world and the real world with gorgeous cinematography. And I'm definitely...
The cinematography was amazing.
Yes, beautiful.
It was. And it was really cool seeing the colored leaves and all that. Phyllis says this episode broke my heart. Why couldn't the baby live? Why Athena should have lived to be part of the future?
Because then it wouldn't be The Walking Dead. So
yeah, they wanted. And I think they needed. They were, despite Alicia getting captured, things were going too smooth for them. So they had to throw something into the works. And then Miss Kale also says Morgan spares the bad people all the time nowadays. Like, it's kind of aggravating. Colin Light says Morgan stay getting out. I guess Morgan's still getting on my nerves. So yeah.
Real quick, y'all, Morgan had a stick, but he stuck his weapon in the ground. Where did he get that stick from? Did I miss something?
Well, no, that's the stick with the axe on it. So, of course, he needed a replacement, so he just got a new stick.
Yeah. So he just went and picked up a random stick that we didn't see him pick up.
I mean, we've seen him use a mop before, so we know he'll just get a stick.
Dude is a Ninja Turtle, for God's sake. So
is he Leonardo?
Donatello.
Donatello.
I was going to say Donatello. That's so funny. The purple one.
Yep.
I will say I know this is like an awful twist on it, but the way that Grace really wanted Athena to bring everyone together, I think losing Athena will also bring everyone together. Because I mean, obviously you want to fight for a new life, but when you have such a tragic loss, like within a community, I do think it can bring them all together. I do think they'll be like, you know what, differences aside, we just lost this like big light, like this big thing that we were all trying to protect, and so we can band together and do anything. Who cares about our differences right now?
It worked for the Avengers.
Go ahead.
It worked for the Avengers. Coulson's death brought the Avengers together, so it can work in The Walking Dead too.
I was going to say, it just reminded me like it paralleled Judith in a way on the original Walking Dead show. I kept thinking back, so is Athena, well, obviously she's not, but I kept thinking, is she going to be like Judith in the end, where she's just like this amazing little
smart ass
kicker.
Smart ass and ass kicker.
Is this the first person we've seen pregnant in Fear? So far, out of the entire Walking Dead universe, we've seen 2 babies come to fruition. Like, just we've only seen.
Well, we have baby Morgan.
We got RJ too, even though we haven't really seen RJ.
No,
we have baby Morgan in Fear. We have baby Morgan in Fear.
Yeah, that's true. Rachel's kid.
So Isaac's kid, the very first kid born in the community, that Isaac saved Morgan first episode.
We saw Isaac being born in World Beyond.
No. We're talking about in Fear.
Oh, the lady. Oh yeah, she was mad when they brought Virginia home. Y'all lost me for a second. I had to remember who that was. It's crazy. All right. Okay, so there's 3 babies, but we got to see. Well, okay, so 3 births in the entire universe and 2 on Fear.
Yeah. So far.
Crazy.
Yeah, it would have been nice if Athena had actually survived, but But you got to wonder, was her death due to the radiation, or was it due to the fact that her mom was just hit by a friggin' huge explosion, and now, that caused trauma to the baby, and that's why it died? So can they blame
It could have been
the end and the
both.
beginning people?
I think it was radiation.
I kind of think it was the explosion because I mean the baby had like a strong kick before. I mean Daniel commented on like, oh, such a strong kick.
I was like, the baby was just kicking 5 fucking minutes ago.
Yeah. So I think it had to be the explosion because wasn't she? Maybe I'm just remembering wrong. I thought she was like whenever she woke up like in the dream or not in the dream portion real, she was like on her stomach. So if she fell on her stomach, that would make more sense.
Right, plus the concussion of the explosion. So we can blame
Yeah.
Riley and his crew for basically killing Athena. So
Yeah, we're gonna ignore the radiation. We're just gonna blame them.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
still saying he needs to
absolutely.
get taken an hatchet to the head, man.
She did say that her baby absorbed all the radiation, but because at first I was confused. I was like, the baby was just kicking, so I'm confused. But I was thinking, I'm like, okay, that might make sense just as something that the human body would do. You're pregnant and the baby is gonna come out anyway, so let me just put all the radiation here so I can push it out and live. I don't know. It did make sense when she said her baby absorbed it all, so I'm like, I don't know.
Well, Grace had read a lot of information on how radiation could affect the fetus, and and how it could absorb a lot of radiation. But it does seem maybe Athena would have been born with some challenges
Yeah.
due to the radiation, but the exploding car by the woman in labor probably didn't help much.
That probably didn't help.
Yeah, so it is a shame. And yeah, it was, I mean, it's not my favorite episode only because for me, the emotional stakes weren't there. To me, Grace was like someone who basically broke Morgan's stick, made him take a shower naked in front of her, and and then they tagged her along, and then she disappeared. So
that was her first line in the whole show, right? Take off your clothes.
Yeah, it's like, wow. I mean, I don't mind aggressive women sometimes, but
No, I've loved them. I remember people were starting to like ship them a little bit, and I was like, no, because I've always been like hardcore Morgan fan, and I know like he still wears his wedding ring. He's still insanely loyal. Like after all this time, I'm like, no. And then I'm like, oh, but I love her. Like I think they're two sides of the same coin. I think she's a little bit more she's a scientist, so she's very rational. She thinks things through, which I think why it kind of hit me a bit harder with this one too, because she was so emotional and like guided on emotion, and we haven't exactly seen that from her. But I also love these two characters. These are two of my favorite characters right now. So every single little thing, like I was picking out like all the "Don't Mess with Texas" shirts she made Morgan wear on the walkers. Roxy, her truck was like in the middle of the road when her and Athena were going down it. So yeah, I was all about this episode. But then you have to bring in the white horse of death. I was scared at that point. I was like, oh no, somebody's gonna die. They brought in the white horse. It's time. Somebody's gone.
Lots of symbolism.
Yeah.
I wish there was a better way of getting there besides walking. Boom, horse. I was like, yep.
Yeah, I
Yep,
was thinking,
I got
Maserati, an Uber, something like that could
How
have
about a
shown up.
Mustang? That'd be cool. Like a little white Mustang.
1967 Black Impala. That
Ooh,
would have worked.
yes.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, baby. We're
My
bringing
dream car right there.
Someone pull up and be like, hey, lady, get in the car. Sammy, make room.
baby.
The way the white horse came in, I was like, you might as well have had a horn on your head. Like, we need somewhere. The horse just pranced in. Had to be a show horse. It was glowing.
Oh yeah, it was lovely.
Might as well have had a horn right here.
Deborah Ulmer says that they researched radiation areas and some of the women had stillborn babies. So that, again, that's something that, I mean, sometimes they go by the science. Sometimes they look at the science and they use it. And then sometimes, the entire series is based on something that's, totally ludicrous as well, with these reanimated corpses that don't seem to ever run out of energy. So, but we suspend our disbelief. It's all good. Ms. Kayla says Morgan does some badass things, but his all life is precious attitude is not making me like him nowadays. I mean, he's like, all life is precious until you threaten my girl, unless you happen to be the leader.
Exactly. And the thing that bothers me is, as Morgan said, I don't die. I can't see Morgan dying. If they ever kill Morgan, I'm never watching Fear again. The disrespect to Mr. James. So, like, my thing is, okay, you don't die, but everybody else can. So I'm gonna need for you to kill to keep them alive, please. So that's my whole thing. Like, you're fine. Kill him because she's in labor, and he's just, please get him out the way. So that's my thing is, Morgan, it's everybody else that's gonna die because of these people. It's not you. I know you don't have to do it for you, but kill for everybody else. You should have learned that with Dwayne. Kill for everybody else.
But see, that stuff with Morgan is what drove me crazy about his character on the original series. I felt the same way. I thought he should have been killing people up front in the first place when you're in this kind of universe. So, I look at stuff like that. If it drives me crazy, it means I'm paying attention. So it's a good character flaw that I would want to kill him if I was with him, because it endangers people when he makes that kind of stupid decision.
They're arguing over a key as she's trying to push. Can you please just kill him? Please. He came back with a gun and everything. I was so mad.
I remember when he showed up on The Walking Dead, like after he like disappeared for a while in that whole outfit, and it was revealed that Morgan was back. And I was like, yes, Morgan's back, and he's so badass. And then it's just like this, all life is precious stuff. I'm like, man, I really want to love you, but you're making it so hard. I have such a love-hate relationship with him.
Yeah.
They did such a good job with that, because whenever we saw him last, he was crazy. He was willing to kill Rick. And then when we see them again, it's totally flip-flop.
Yeah.
So here's Rick literally slashing someone's throat in the middle of the town. He's like, where am I right now?
It seems like Morgan is wanting to kill people when it's inconvenient for us to want him to kill people, and he doesn't want to kill people when he really should be. So it's like his mood changes opposite what he should be doing.
Morgan's problem is he has yet to find that balance. He needs to find it, but he has yet to find it.
You know that when he finds that balance, it's probably going to be the end of him.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
That's the thing. Because at the end of the day, honey, I'm sorry. This is a post-apocalyptic world. You're going to have to kill people even if you don't want to. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You'd have had to kill
Earl.
Thank you. Like, come on.
Yeah.
She ain't nothing but a baby. Sometimes I'm sorry. It's the end of the world. You got to kill sometime. I'm sorry.
What were people's thoughts about all the reminiscing that Grace had, thinking about the bio dad of Athena? I mean, I was like, it's great we get to see a little bit more of him, but you seem like wistful, like you really wish he was there, but you got Morgan. Come on,
Well, I think she's probably still hurt from the fact that she literally lost all her friends, all her friends within the radiation and all of that. But yeah, I wish we could have saw like a happy memory versus I think we only saw trauma. Yeah, we only saw trauma and radiation on him and stuff. I would have just let's see you guys on a cute little date, something
when
cute.
When y'all first see each other at work, what was the eye contact? We could.
Yeah, we only saw the end, which is sad, but.
At least keep in mind, I only came into this show on season 6. I am going back and watching the other ones, but to me, it just kind of felt like, and again, this is when I was expecting her to die. That there were just flashbacks of memories.
Yeah,
this is the feeling that it gave me.
I thought we were losing her in this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. She kept on having dreams inside of dreams, which I thought was weird.
She was diving into different dimensions. She was all over the place. That's why, if you wasn't like this, if you would have rubbed your eye for 5 seconds, you would have missed something.
Yeah, for
it
sure.
was really hard for me to stay connected to that episode, but I managed to.
Girl, I was determined to try to figure it out. I was like, okay, so first of all, can we talk about old man Morgan? It was a good look.
With the snow hair. Yes.
You mean Fred Sanford?
No, I want to talk about
old someone man Daniel gets and that.
Strand.
Daniel and Strand.
Daniel and Strand. I loved it.
I love those two men. That took me out.
They were just being like catty old men. Love it. I loved it.
Yeah, that was awesome. One thing I did not love, Sherry was still alive and
I was
back
like,
with
this-
Dwight. I was like, no, she needs to eat a bite of dick and die.
and had like 2-3 kids with Dwight. I'm so done with that lady. I don't care who Dwight with at this point. I still love Dwight.
I go back and forth on her. I
I
love
love
her
Dwight.
sometimes and I hate her
And it's like,
sometimes.
why would you leave your husband? First of all, you didn't want to work, so you chose to be one of Negan's wives. You already had a strike. And then you left, didn't leave him a note, didn't do nothing. You just left. Left him letters. This man came halfway across the country to find you. You led him on. Now he done found you. You don't want him no more. What's it gonna be?
So,
What is
so
it?
Mark, you were saying about
Fickle.
Sherry?
Oh yeah, she drives me crazy. There are times I like her strength, that she'll stand up to things and she'll decide to take off and go off on her own. But then the way she treats Dwight drives me freaking nuts. It's like she can't make up her mind. It's almost the way she looks at the world is kind of like what we were talking about when he should kill someone or not.
Yes.
It's the wrong fucking decision every time.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
I think she still has PTSD from the Negan trauma.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have to say, my hat's off to the writers for consistency, for going back, because she had the young baby girl named Tina, and when Daryl first met them on the road, that was her sister who had the diabetes, who ended up getting killed. But that was a great callback to that, because it's like for them to remember that name and
Yeah.
say, well, naturally she's going to name this her daughter after her dead sister. That was awesome. I have to say, the attention to detail sometimes is really nice on the show.
Also, wasn't that really Austin's son?
I believe it was. Yeah.
I love that because I saw Athena and I saw Grace and I was like, oh my God, what like wonderful casting because they look so similar, like their eyes, like love that. And then it goes over to like the son and I'm like, oh my God, his son looks just like Dwight. Well, it is his son. There you go.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Austin did do like an Instagram post saying that he had his son on the show. So
So adorable. I love that.
Me
I
too.
love it when they can get family involved.
Yeah, we all like Dwight. Ms. Kayla says, I really don't care for Sherry. And I think we pretty much, I mean,
we all
yeah,
care
she
for
can
Sherry
be
here.
strong, but the impression I get, Mark, when you say she's being strong, is she's not being strong for the sake of strength. She's not finding something to be strong about. She's like saying, I was weak so long, I need to be strong.
Yeah.
Even though this might not be the time for her to be blown,
Oh, it's bad decisions, but she can take things on. Now she's being able to fight now. But it's just bad decision making.
Yeah.
And as far as a relationship with her, hell no.
Yeah, I try and cut her some slack because I know she's obviously going through a lot. She has PTSD. She has a lot of stuff to work through, and it's clear she has a lot of like self-hatred. So I try to cut her a break, but I'm like, gee, it seems like she's
You're
drowning.
making it really hard.
Yeah, she's like drowning in herself. Like if that makes any sense. She's fighting and fighting to like try and get out, and just like, girl, your lifeline is right there. Just take Dwight's hand. He will help you, please.
Yeah.
Dwight has done a great job healing over time. Like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
Yes.
a regular person. He could give us some tips.
I
Yes.
like his
Yeah,
character
worse
more and
than
more
her.
every time.
I do too.
Me too.
Dwight had it worse than her. You got to lay up BQ and fuck on Negan all day. Dwight was out there doing his dirty work. Okay.
And getting an iron
Dwight
to the
lost
face.
half his face and he's dealing
Yeah.
with life better.
yeah.
Like Dwight had it worse, honey. You could take some tips from your husband.
Yeah. You see nothing in the chat at the moment. So that ending, where do you think we're going from here with Riley? First of all, speaking of people who would have been logical to kill somebody, I don't understand why Riley just didn't, as soon as he got out of that truck, shoot Morgan right in the face. I mean, really, I mean, I guess he was worried the bullet might bounce off his plot armor, but, you know, it's like...
Well, I mean, or Grace. He was pointing the gun right at her. He could have just shot her.
Yeah, and Grace is there. It's like, this baby you've already lost. It's like, sure, why don't you just tell him that he should kill you? You know, that's kind of doesn't make too much sense, but he kept his word. He said, you gave me the key, good luck. He left. But really, logically, he should have killed both of them.
Yeah.
It's not like they're not planning on blowing them up with nuclear bombs anyway, so what's the difference?
Well,
And
I mean,
this-
he is like culty, so I don't think he really has that much thought process for himself to like to think through that. He's really just thinking, master wants key, must get key.
I tell you, these people are so weird. I do not think these people are fighters at all.
Yeah, no, I
we
don't.
have not even seen them bust a move on nobody at all ever since we met them. Like, look how easy he was able to kill his brother, let him get bit by the walker. Look at like, so easy to take advantage of them physically. The gun might be just for show. I really don't think these people fight and kill. They weird. Like, I don't know what they up to. They not fighting and killing us. They just weird and they got something going on.
Morgan went through him like a hot knife through butter. He was just boom.
Exactly. They don't. The combat's not there. It's not.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's how far John Connor has fallen. My God.
First of all, can we talk about how they called her Dr. Dory? And I got mad.
That made my heart just like, oh.
I got mad. You didn't go with your husband. He was leaving. Girl, I'm not gonna let her live that down. I'm not.
Yeah,
you had multiple times to kill her, and he wouldn't have had to run away. You kept saving her life.
That's true.
And then when it's driving him crazy that all of these people that he like is getting murdered, you don't go with him. Dr. Dory. Oh, I was so mad.
I still loved it though. It was like, oh, kind of the moment.
I'm just gonna stay petty that she saved Virginia 50 million times, but couldn't save Grace's baby. Okay,
girl,
be 6 million days away for that one, but save Virginia every time.
I'm with you on the petty vote with that one.
Yeah, but I do have to say they did a great casting job on an older Charlie. It's like I knew immediately that was Charlie.
I was
casting game on point.
I was looking, and after about 15 seconds, I was like, "Is that supposed to be Charlie?" She really looked like her.
And it's not a relative. It's not like they did it with Henry, and you know.
Yeah.
They actually have a relative.
Yeah.
It was, you know, somebody else. But Ms. Kayla says, final thought, something is up with this new group. Well, duh, they're really
weird.
They want to kill everybody. Why not? Deborah Ulmer says she likes how everyone is sending kind words and support to Karen David after the episode, as if she actually lost the baby, I guess. But you know,
sometimes people can't separate fact from fiction. So,
and I guess in this case, it's working out in a nice way because she's getting some very kind words, even though she's like, "I didn't really lose a baby." It's
unlike Eugene, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Karen David is just like the sweetest soul ever. Every time I see her doing her lives and just like videos and stuff, she is just the sweetest person. I love her. And I'm happy that like as a person that's went through some similar things, not like a full like this far in pregnancy, stillbirth or anything like that, early term miscarriages, I'm happy that it was her and that it was like the emotion that she gave, she did a hell of a job. Like she did an amazing job. And she's been so nice to everyone on social media too. Like she remembered that my daughter's name was Athena and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm sending you so much love. Like, sending you love and light. I'm so sorry. Like this was so hard." She's so nice.
Yeah, she Ms. Kayla says she did a great job this episode. She's a very beautiful woman too. She's just one of those. That's why I mean I look at I have nothing against Grace. I think she's, but she almost seems like too nice for this world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's too pure. Too pure.
I
Yeah.
mean, come on, look at my boy Glenn. I'll never get over it. Ever. Never. Ever. 30 years from now, I'll still be saying I miss Glenn.
Hey, but we have
Wow.
him in Invincible now, so
Yep.
Yes.
you know.
Which everyone, if you haven't watched Invincible already, go watch Invincible. It's
Season 2
awesome.
and season 3 coming soon.
Yeah, well, I don't know when. They better hurry the hell up. But
Yes.
It'll be a while. At an hour an episode. That's a
Don't
lot of
tell
work.
us that. Don't tell us that. We want it now.
I know. Well, we all want it now. Hey, we
But-
got Rick and Morty coming in June, so that'll at least keep us going a little bit.
I do have to say, I do like how they are Disney Plus too. They're releasing one episode a week, kind of
Yeah.
because
kind of keeps you going, like with the Bad Batch.
exactly. You're
Yeah.
not sitting there binging on the whole thing in one sitting. You're absorbing the information that you're getting and like thinking on it. And
Yeah.
I mean, it irritates
Come
me
on,
because
Morty.
I want the next episode, but I love it at the same time. I think it's great.
Well, the thing is, they're doing it on purpose. I mean, Netflix still releases everything at once, pretty
Exactly.
much. But the other, I mean, if they released everything, like with the second season of The Boys, they released a few episodes and then they dropped them like once a week, which was when the first season of The Boys I watched in a day. And, I was raving about it for a while. But they want the people to rave about it over a period of months. So that's
Yep.
why they have to like drop it over time. So it makes sense. It's kind of
And I love that they're doing that now. I think that's great.
Mickey Handrigan says throwback for the Gov. Why didn't the Gov put his daughter to peace instead of keeping her alive?
Right.
Well,
'Cause he's
obviously
insane?
Milton, huh?
Because he's insane.
Well, please, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones there, storyboarding guy. But honestly, I was convinced, Milton convinced me that there was a cure, that he could come up with a cure, that there was something left in the brain. So if it was your daughter and you could keep her sequestered so she wouldn't hurt anyone, wouldn't you try to get her cured any way you could if you thought there was a sliver of hope?
Yep.
I mean, it turned out that Milton didn't know what he was doing. And, he was best used for Andrea disposal. But, what can you, I had hope, but obviously, it was false hope. So I was misled. I blame Milton. So,
Morbid question here about this episode. I guess this would be the time to find out, are children, like, in this case, a stillborn, do they turn, or is the next generation not affected?
I was wondering that too, actually.
I didn't even think about it.
Because I mean,
I
I don't
was
I-
waiting
Wondering
for
if
the baby to
before
start-
it's born, if it turns.
yeah. Oh, I know.
Eats its way out.
Dies in the
Yeah.
womb, when it like eats you from the inside
Well,
out.
it doesn't have teeth, so it's going to have a hard time chomping through.
That is true.
So I was figuring it would try to gum her to death. But,
Hey, baby
Yeah.
nails are like crazy.
I mean, you don't know. It could be zombies, walkers, whatever. They might have. I don't know. I don't know how those infant walkers are. They might have teeth. Who knows?
well, I saw Z Nation first episode, and they tried to one up The Walking Dead by having that flying baby doll with teeth, and it was ridiculous. But yeah, I would be. I mean, children obviously turned. Would the baby, because the mother's system, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I have never had a child, nor will I ever biologically do so.
I
but
cannot add into this conversation.
But the entire, the mother system protects the fetus as much as possible from disease, inoculates, tries to build up the immune system of this child as much as possible. So it is possible that the baby was virus free, was, Beta virus free, and wouldn't turn.
Yeah,
And-
I mean, there are some diseases, and like even going as far to say like those kinds of diseases, if you know what I mean. I don't want to say, you can have a normal birth and your child not have it. So, I mean, there is a very good possibility that it would not be passed, but it could also be passed because, you know, placenta and everything is attached to mom. So I don't know, big question for me, like, what does it pass that way? Because there is a fair chance it doesn't.
I mean,
but I doubt they'd show
if
it. They have to
Judith
put it
if
down.
Judith dies or if RJ dies, will they turn?
Oh yeah, Judith's like
I-
12. She definitely turning.
Oh yeah, she will. I
whole
even think RJ would probably turn too.
I mean, is there a certain period of time after they're born that they wouldn't have it and then they would acquire the virus?
That's what I was about
Or
to ask.
Yeah.
Because did you forget about Sophia coming out the bar?
yeah, but Sophia had been born before you know this happened. Children, fine, you know, they will turn. You know, he shot the girl with the little bunny bear or whatever.
Sarah Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, in the very first episode. So children turn, but children who are born after all this, do they have the virus? Will they turn? That is the question.
Well, how,
Yeah.
how far are we into the apocalypse now on this show?
11, 12 years, because that's how Judith is. 11, 12.
Yeah,
Well, in
so
Fear,
That's true, yeah.
like 5. In Fear,
Yeah,
we're
I
like
don't know
5
what
years.
Fear.
yeah, because they still have working guns and apparently working vehicles.
Electricity.
I think in Fear we're around the time that Rick left in the main show. So we haven't gone through the big time hop in
Okay.
Fear.
Right. So, yeah, it can be a little bit confusing. They have a lot more amenities in Fear the Walking Dead than they do in the main show. They're like beyond all that stuff. They're pretty much, you know, using coconuts for telephones, just like on Gilligan's Island. But yeah, it's hard to say because there's nobody like that Dr. Jenna around to do a blood test on Judith or RJ, who were both
Yeah.
born after
Or Gracie.
the Advent, or or Gracie,
We
who was
gotta-
obviously born afterwards.
We got to
Yeah.
babies.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know. Just curious.
But considering mortality rates of children and mothers, you know, prior to modern medicine, so far, you know, I don't know, are we on par? Because we lost one mother, kept one baby. And then we have one mother and one baby doing fine. And now we have one mother who's still alive and one baby that died. So it's like,
Losing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's probably on par. Obviously, medicine and just like knowledge in general, like there's a lot of stuff that when your baby's born, you are given information like in the hospital or like before you give birth, and they're like, if you do A, B, and C, like this is going to like drastically reduce the like risk of SIDS. So I mean, they don't have all of that now. So I feel I think it's pretty on par. I would be absolutely horrified. Like, don't touch me. I'm not getting pregnant. The apocalypse. Thank you.
Literally. And the people we do have that have that knowledge, where's the equipment? So it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
it's like they know what to do, but they ain't got shit to do it with. So it's both.
Yep.
except for
Yep.
Morgan somehow has a friggin' sonogram baby monitor thing, you know, in a friggin' water tower.
Get that from.
Those water towers, man. Mhm.
Oh yeah. He's hustling up all the supplies to keep himself alive.
I
Meanwhile,
have a little fetal Doppler. I wonder how long those things last. I would imagine probably a while.
Well, if you have
Well-
electricity too.
Yeah, they just have like little handheld ones that like take batteries. I had one.
Well, when you're looking at the area of the country they're in like Texas, they're in the Southwest where humidity is lower. I mean,
True.
you have some of that stuff in Florida where there's 90% humidity.
It'll be
All that
melted.
shit is going to be, you know,
Yeah.
gone. That's probably why they still have stuff working at a point where in, you know, Virginia and Georgia,
They
they
might
don't have
not.
any of that stuff working because of all the humidity. You
Yeah.
know, you take a car out to like Vegas and it will not rust the way it will if you're in like the Northeast here in the US.
Mm.
So
you know what's so funny? Speaking of rust on cars, I brought my car from Chicago to LA, and it's so funny. My friend saw it. She said, "You know, that's a Midwest car with the rust on the side." Funny because that's not a thing in LA. So that is a fact. That is a fact.
All right, we're actually getting close to the end here. So final thoughts and shameless self-promotion. Let's start with Sarah.
You guys can find me at Mama Deadhead on just about anything. You can come leave comments on all of my videos. I've genuinely appreciated all the wonderful, amazing comments I've gotten on this past reaction, because I think everyone was like, "Oh my God, Athena, I need to go make sure Mom is okay," and I genuinely appreciate that. Watch Invincible. Love you guys. Mama Deadhead on everything. Check out my Patreon.
Michonne?
You can find me at patreon.com/Michonne Reacts multiple times a week. That is the only place where I'm guaranteed to post content because they pay every month. YouTube is whenever I feel like it, although I do have a lot of good stuff coming. As far as Fear the Walking Dead goes, I have absolutely no idea what the next episode is going to be. No clue. I am in the dark. So I'm just excited. Hopefully there's more Strand and Daniel in the next episode.
Silly Jazz?
All right. Of course, you can find me at Wizard World on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can also find me on my own Instagram at Jazzy Diva with 3 Z's. And I'm here for the next episode. I know the next few are going to be good, and I can't wait.
Yeah, calm before the storm, as we have good authority.
This was the calm before the storm, which is the show just got bigger and bigger. It was actually kind of shocking even working on it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the other episodes turned out. The best place to find me is on LinkedIn. I don't use any other social networking, mostly because I don't have time. If you want to see Walking Dead storyboards and animatics and special edits of my art to the finished work, it's storyboards-east.com. I've posted a lot of my art from the series on there.
And don't you have some books out?
I do. I've written a number of books. My latest one is a memoir of when I was bullied in high school. My bullies attacked my family at our house, and then I had all their parents arrested. It's called Attacked. That just came out this past year. It's on Amazon, Kindle, and on print.
Oh, wow. That sounds something
Legendary.
I should check out. We will have to talk about bullying because, you don't turn into the governor because you had a good childhood. And of course, you can find me on phantomspotlight.com or Phantom Spotlight on YouTube, where I do post my reactions, and I've found ways to minimize copyright claims, which I've tried to share with certain people, but they're not quite sure how to do it. So we'll have to have more discussions. And of course, thanks to Wizard World. Again, go to wizardworld.com to check out their upcoming nostalgia series, horror series, and I think it's coming out. We actually have the Rob Zombie one with Lou Temple, who is, of course, from The Walking Dead, and he was on one of our reaction things, and he's going to be later on this month on the Rob Zombie panel. And we do have the sci-fi one as well.
The Rob Zombie. The next one coming up is Terrifier.
Next one is Terrifier?
Yeah, the Terrifier.
Terrifier?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it's called? Terrifier?
Yeah. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Is it Terrifier or Terrifier? I thought it was Terrifier. I have no idea.
It could be Terrifier, like I said.
Terrifier. Wildwave says appreciate y'all work. Miss Kayla says thank you, Kyle, Jazz, on the Deadhead, Sean, and Mark Simon. And again, we appreciate everyone coming and checking us out. And be sure to go and check out everybody on social media, Mark especially on LinkedIn. And we will see you next time. Governor and crew out.
Good night.
This is all connected. You show up, and now 3 of us are gone.
Why'd you bring us here?